Evening, folks. Brian here, Geomagnetic Earthwatch, Tuesday, May 13, 2025. Let's continue the discussion on what I believe that the planet is now developing a multipolar field, resulting in weak areas around our planet, which allows increased levels of ultraviolet radiation. So let me explain. The sun emits three major forms of radiation: visible light that we can see, thermal energy, the heat, and ultraviolet radiation. Now, the infrared radiation is that which makes us feel warm. We feel it without a burning sensation, while UV radiation can burn and damage our skin without becoming warm. For example, winters. Well, about 3 years ago maybe, in the winter time, I was talking to my neighbor down the laneway. We were dressed just like this. Okay, winter time. We're Canadians. It was cloudy, but then there was an opening in the clouds. Clear sky started coming through with the sun. Then all of a sudden, we started feeling this burning sensation on our exposed skin. That is ultraviolet radiation. It doesn't just have to be the summertime. It can be all year round. So temperatures and UV radiation are not the same thing. Heat does not affect UV radiation. What factors determine UV radiation, ultraviolet radiation? Time of the day, between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. when the sun is highest. Season is also a factor. In the summertime, the sun is highest, but that does not exclude the winter time. Latitude, closer to the equator. Cloud cover can affect ultraviolet radiation. While some thick clouds can block or absorb the radiation, other types of cloud cover can block or scatter and even intensify it. Another factor is reflected surfaces, water, snow, sand, concrete. Now I'm going to show you briefly the ultraviolet index on Null School. So this is on Null School. I had to go back to the 10th of May when there was less cloud cover over North America. The violet is the harshest UV index. So this has a UV rating of 10, very high. It's even much higher. Areas of higher elevation, for example, the Andes is one area. Himalayas is another. Let's go to the today. So we're coming over to the Philippines as far north as southern Japan. Let's go back. Mexico, extreme, level 14. Now, one of the more hazardous locations in North America, United States, is Colorado. So you heard of the term New Valley of the Sun? Well, it's going to be New Valley of the high UV exposure rating. Out over the Pacific, 13 extreme. So here's an example of our ultraviolet penetration. There's another thing to consider. If there's going to be an axial tilt shift, North America coming down, putting the equator right through here. That means this will be United States. Now there's 3 levels of ultraviolet radiation. UVA, which penetrates deep into the skin all day long. UVB, which is more energetic and responsible for sunburn and DNA damage. UVC, which is not supposed to reach us, is the most dangerous level, and it's supposed to be filtered out by the ozone. So when you find any literature or documentation, what they are not telling you is because of the geomagnetic excursion, destabilizing and weakening our protective magnetic field, is the cosmic rays that breaks down the ozone. Not any of that man-made garbage trash they're trying to fuel your brains with. Cosmic radiation breaks down the ozone, which allows UVC levels to reach us. And once again, it's the ultraviolet radiation that suppresses the immune system. It suppresses antigen presentation, which means it suppresses the immune system in a way in that it does not recognize antigens, foreign antigens. Another thing, drought and ultraviolet radiation are coexisting environmental factors that negatively affect plant growth and development. I've shown this picture before. This is from the summer of 2021. I was growing potatoes in different areas. Some were full exposure, no protection. Others were covered in a burlap sack, useless. And then third, my polycarbonate panels. The ones exposed, directly exposed. Every single potato looked like that. This is ultraviolet damage to the DNA of the potato plant. Yummy, yummy, eh? That was also the summer in the Fraser Valley, for example. We had extensive crop losses on our berry fields. It was not the heat. It was the ultraviolet radiation. Now, subsequent summers it did, a little bit better. It's because I believe we're having those multipolar fields with openings or substantially weak areas here and then here and then here, and they're moving around the planet. Keep your mind open. On the reasoning why do you want to do stratospheric aerosol injections over the British Isles. Keep your mind open. Do your own due diligence. Study. What if that area, which includes the area over Portugal, France, Spain, is one of the areas of the weakened field? They know it. They know about the increased levels of radiation coming in, both cosmic rays, muons, and ultraviolet radiation. And for the interim, they had to provide some protection. There's different reasons why they do chemtrail. They do stuff up there. Different reasons. One is the cosmic radiation mitigation. You've had a lot of fires there, including in the wintertime. You're having substations just popping off and having fires and power failures and so on. Keep your mind open. So what are we going to look for? So the point of this video is, what are some of the hints or the clues of where on the planet we're developing openings in our protective field? What areas are sustaining crop damages? What areas where the population, there's more incidents of immune system being compromised, illnesses, increased cancers, droughts. Ultraviolet radiation sucks the moisture out of the soils. I learned this years ago, which is why I try and cover most of my growing areas in polycarbonate panels, because I know this material, it's proven to deflect the radiation. And everything I have growing underneath my little housings, they're doing fantastic. It doesn't matter what the heat from the radiation is. So I also want you to take in consideration. There's warnings of southern United States, Texas area, going to be extremely hot. Try and identify the difference between radiative heat and scalding burn from ultraviolet radiation. Maybe. So I'm looking for clues to indicate that we are in fact developing a multipolar magnetic field. There's no predictive modeling. We're not going to be able to figure it out. We have a sick, ill patient in the bed, and all we have to go on is the signs and the symptoms. And like in first aid, for example, we do what's called a systems review. We start from the head. We ask the patient all these different questions, the neurological, the breathing, the gastrointestinal, and so on. We got to try and figure out what's going wrong. I hope this helps. Another area, for example, is Chris in San Diego. You know, right? You're given sort of clues and hints what's going on down there with the heat. Oh, that is all as you were.